So, hello guys. A couple of days ago, I released a promo that promised that we are going to be talking on a very important issue. And by we, I mean three of my friends from outside and my sister in law, my Bodhi, Addy, who is a psychologist. And honestly, this video is I'm not sure if it is an awareness video or anything. It's just different people sharing their experience, and at the end, I have a psychologist's point of view. So, like, if we say anything wrong or anything that isn't part of bullying or anything, it can be clarified at the last. We are not experts on bullying, but we have tried to share and put into words the things that we have faced in real lives. In some of our cases, it wasn't very serious, it was normal, but in some of our cases, it was a bit serious. It was serious in my case, I know that for a fact. So, yeah, anyways, I'm not going to keep you right now. Make sure you hear everyone's story and hear it till the end so you can hear what Addy has to say as a psychologist. And I hope that this video helps people. And if there is a girl or a boy or anyone out there who's facing these things like us, it can give them a little bit of hope that they're not the only one alone. I don't know what my main objective is through by making this video, but I do really hope that it will help people. So watch till the end and listen carefully. So hey guys, today I'm going to be making a video which I knew I would make one day, and I really wanted to make it, but I wasn't sure when I will make it or how I will make it. Will I do it alone or I will get someone to help me? Usually I make vlogs on my channel, but this is like a completely different thing for me, and it's actually very important to me. I'm going to be talking about bullying. I have quite a number of questions with me here. My teenage life wasn't so good, as you can say, because there was a lot of bullying involved. So, as you guys know, my name is Shreyasi. I'm gonna be 19. I'm 18 years old. I study in Amity University, Kolkata. I'm in my first semester right now, and I currently live in Alipurduar. I've always lived in Alipurduar my whole life up till now, and it's a very nice place if you don't consider the racism, the PNPCs and all. But it's a nice place. But you have to fight, and you have to fight a lot to be able to be happy here. It's like just a jungle race, but it's a good place, nice place. So I'll be answering the questions that I have. So the first question that I have is, what is bullying like where you live? I live in a small town in West Bengal, and mainly bullying here is it's not just like consistent in the schools. Like, the schools are full of bullies, trust me. And they will usually pick on you for something you don't have, or if you have too much. Like, if you have kind of something that they want but they don't have, they'll pick on you, they'll destroy that stuff. And even if you are not tidy or something, they'll make fun of you. And this goes for both teachers and students. There are many teachers who are bullies. And in normal lives, you have these aunties who are very don't have that much of an interesting life. I know I'm seriously coming at you, aunties, but it's true. They don't have that much of an interesting life, and that's why they like to pick on others. If you wear a little bit of a short dress, they'll bully you. If you talk to a guy in middle of the street, they'll bully you. Like, it's not that serious, but sometimes it's too much. It's too much to take on, you know. The next question that I have is, did you experience bullying in any form? Yes, I did experience bullying. The first time I got bullied, I think I was in fourth standard. I um, like nobody hit me or something, but it was a lot of emotional torture. It scarred me really. I it wasn't a happy good picture. My teenage lives weren't happy because of these bullies, and also included one teacher of mine. He used to bully me day and night. I hated to go to that tuition because he used to bully me a lot. And this topic, bully, is not so much common, and parents don't understand this so much. So it was very hard for me to make my mom and dad understand that what has happened. But I had to study with that teacher for 2 whole years before I got him off. It was really, really traumatic for me. I hated to go to tuitions. I hated going to school because of this. I kind of became a loner for a while, but thankfully I had some good friends who helped me a lot through this. I also had very bad friends. You can't consider them friends, but you know what I mean. So, the third question that I have is, did that affect your mental or physical health? Yes, it affected my mental health as well as my physical health. I was not well mentally. I was I was always depressed. I would cry alone, and I would cry in the bathrooms, hurt myself. Many of the students in my school, like some of my friends, used to cut themselves, like they used to bleed themselves, and that used to give them some sort of peace. I never did that. I don't have the courage to cut myself. So what I did was I cried a lot. I like sometimes I would stop eating, stop talking to people, like exclude myself from things, and sometimes I would have these huge rages. Like, I didn't even know why I was so much I didn't even know why I was angry, but I was angry for some reason. So yeah, it wasn't an easy thing, but I got through it. So the next question is, did you need external help to cope with that mental or physical trauma? Yes, I needed external help. I needed therapy. I went to a psychologist. I'm not gonna say her name, but it helped. I also went to Kolkata for this therapy sessions for 15 days because I wasn't good at that time. I would constantly break down. My studies were going very bad. I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't sleep. It was a completely different thing. Like physically, it was hurt. Like I would blank out sometimes. Like I would. Once this happened when I stopped. Like I was having so much breathing problems, and that was because someone picked on me in school. I was always depressed at that time. I was depressed, and I started off as I started excluding myself from everything. My teachers were one of my teacher was very concerned because I usually was very lively and happy, but I was like quiet the whole tuition that time. Quiet. I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't respond anything. He was very concerned with me. So I didn't. When I came back home, he told my mom that there's something wrong with her. My mom asked me, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "Nothing. Nothing's wrong with me." So I told them nothing's wrong with me. Then I stopped going to school. I hated going to school at that time. So I stopped going to school, and then suddenly at the same search tuition, I started having these like sudden attacks. Like sometimes it was like I can breathe, and then it was like I cannot breathe, kind of like that. It got very maximum at a point when I tried to hurt myself like very much. I had to get hospitalized for it. I crossed my line, and honestly, I was scared the most after I did it. I was scared the most. So that's all. And also, I have another question. I mean, I have many questions now. So, what do you think was the reason for the said bullying? No reason. I didn't do anything wrong. I was always, I'm a little bit of. So, as I was saying, you guys know I'm like in India, it's you're only beautiful if you're fair. And I am a brown, I'm in like a shade of brown, and I love my skin color now. But at one point, like it got very serious. Like people used to like body shame me, pick on me for my color. It was complete. And the most horrifying thing was that they were of my age. I was a little girl and they were of my age, but this thing was in their head that you're only beautiful if you're fair, and racism in a kid isn't good. You already know what that's gonna be. And honestly, there wasn't any reason. I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I was a normal kid trying to be happy, and yes, I had a little bit of a teenage drama, but who doesn't? But I didn't do anything wrong so that they bullied me. Till this day, I don't find any fault of mine. So it's very hard to say what was the reason. Okay, narrate an incident. I remember this incident. I'm not going to say the name of the people who did this to me, but I still know them. Sometimes I have still contact with one of them, but let's see what happens. So when I was in fourth standard, my mom bought me these sketch pens I was always asking her about. So I finally took them to school to my drawing class, and I remember these two girls asking me where I bought them from. I said, I don't know, my mom bought them for me. So at the end of the class, when we were packing our bags, one of the girls, like, they were, would have like famous girls kind of thing that happens in schools. So it was kind of like that. So yeah, what I was saying is those two famous girls. Yeah, those two famous girls came near to me, and one of them asked, the little one asked me that, can I see your sketch pen? And I wasn't that kind of kid that say no to you. So I'd say, okay, watch it, see it. I thought they were gonna praise me or like say something nice that I have that sketch pen. But what she did was she took it, opened the packet, she dropped it on the ground and stamped on it. So my whole sketch pen was destroyed. I remember trying to kick her so she would not stamp on my sketch pens, but they were already ruined. I remember everyone left the classroom as I sat crying. Only 2 or 3 of the classmates, my friends, they were there. They tried to calm me down, but I was so devastated. Like, first of all, I knew my mom was gonna be so angry at me. And, we kids have that thing when we break something and we blame it on our friends. Like, I didn't do it, she did it. So I thought that was, my mom's gonna believe that. And she did believe that I broke it and blamed it on someone. But it was very bad. I still remember it. One of them turned out to be a good person now, but another one, I don't have any contact with her because one of the girls, the one who stamped on my sketch pens, never apologized to me. The other one apologized to me. We were best friends for like 2-3 years. So everything sorted out. Like 7-8 people bullied me in all total. And right now I'm friends with like all of them except that one little girl. Honestly, I still hate her. Like, still hate her. I shouldn't do this, but I still hate her. So last question is advice on how to cope with the situation. My cousins helped me a lot coping with my depression and bullying. And yes, I had to go into therapy. That helped. Also, staying with my real friends helped. I don't have any like real thing to say about how to cope with it because different people cope with it different way. I coped good with it because I had good support system maybe after that. But maybe you don't have that support system with you, so you might have to think of new ways or other ways. And the problem with Indian household is if you say like if you talk to your parents about getting into therapy, they will definitely say no to you. It's kind of like a shameful thing for the parents. I don't know why. It's better to get help now than later. I got the help. I'm thankful for that. And yeah, I just have to say that much.
Yeah, I'm Joshua Adeyemi, a Nigerian from Badagry, Lagos State. I have few questions here to attend to regarding bully. So the first question is, what is bully like where you live? Precisely, uh, the definition of bully varies in this part of the world, Nigeria, especially towards where I'm living. It's more of psychological one, like the society you're living in, the expectation from the society, your mates. What we have now is we have more of fraudsters, youth who are fraudsters. So someone who is not psychologically stance would be intimidated by these folks with the kind of car they buy. You see someone of 16 years old because he's a fraudster, he had gotten enough money and he would have a house, a car, live a luxurious life, you know. Technically that's a bully to someone who has or who has a pure mind who wouldn't want to do something like that, and before you know the person will want to do so. That's kind of bully we have here. Another aspect of bully here is the one perpetrated by the court members. Yeah, court members. That's another level of bully. Some people belong to some group, and then when they want you to be part of them, when you refuse, you might be haunted, or probably you might be bruised, or even stabbed. And if you are not called upon, it's either you would be threatened, whatever they are, you can't go there. So that's another aspect of bullying. But precisely, we don't have more of beating or all of that. We have more of the court members and the other one I've talked about. The second question is, did you experience bullying in any form? Yeah, I did experience bully. That was when I was. It was two times actually. One I was when I was learning a vocation, and another time when I was in school. That was when I was in sophomore in college. The third question is: did that affect your mental or physical health? Um, Slightly. I'm this kind of strong person. I don't let what you think or you do me dictate what I do. So, slightly. Did you need external help to cope with that mental or physical trauma? No, I handled it myself. I only did more of steering clear of the person um, and doing what I thought was needful. The fifth question is, what do you think was the reason for the said bullying? Actually, it's quite funny. I didn't know. I couldn't say, or I can't even say at the moment what happened, what caused it. It was, I don't know, probably a slight of jealousy. I think he wanted me to do something, or should I say, there was a friend of mine who he wanted. It's actually a guy who he wanted, and then he saw me as an obstacle. So there was something that happened. He made a mountain of a molehill, something that was very something little. It just flared up and then he hit me and all of that. So I think it was more of a lady caused it actually. A lady caused it. And now the sixth question is narrate an incident. I have to. I don't know. Okay. When I was learning the vocation, there was a friend of mine. He happened to be a senior, and then he was always upfront. He believed he's older than me, and then he would want me to subject myself. And back then I was quite little. I had this, should I say, stunted growth, or should I say, I wasn't tall, so he could override me in that context, you know. So whenever we are sent to do something, probably at the house of our boss, he would seize that medium in beating, tormenting, and the likes of that. That didn't stop me from going there. My mom even didn't know. Back then I was a troublemaker, so whenever I give it to me, I give him back the trouble. But it affected me in some ways. We were just, should I say, we were just friends from the eaves. We weren't actually close, but we were feigning to be close. So but there was this third person who came in, who also joined us at the workplace. So he was the one who brought us together, and then I think the stuff ended back then. But even to date, if we see today, we are now grown up. We've grown up, beg your pardon. Even if we see today, the relationship is not there, the chemistry, because we know what we've done to each other or what he has done to me when we were young. And the last thing here is advice on how to cope with a situation. What I would say, what helped me and what I think would help everyone is this: do not let people's negative perception about you become your reality. Like I said in the first place, the type of bully we have here, the first one that I said, psychological perception of the society overruled the personal perception, personal conviction, and the other one, bully of beating, making you threatening or making you seem inferior. These are another level of perceptions, but these involve fist and manpower. So if you can deal with this kind of persons, you talk to people that are older than you. One thing a bully will do is, after intimidating you, he will plant fear in you. You want to overrule fear. Fear is a very, very bad thing, and I think Nelson Mandela, the first president of Ghana, he said that fear no man. There was something they said before that. He said fear no man. That was the end of it. I was trying to paraphrase actually. So the byproduct of bully is fear. So you do not need to fear anyone. One thing is respecting, the other thing is fearing. So you do not need to fear anyone. You have to respect actually. But when you say that you can handle a particular person who is bullying you, you steer clear of the person, you watch your way with the person, and do not fear the person. You could create a gap, but do not fear. If you fear, the person will keep haunting you and will keep having this orientation that, yeah, of course, he's still afraid of me, then I can eat him, I can do this and that. I think this is where I'm going to stop. Thank you for audience. And this is my perception of the topic. I'm Joshua, a Nigerian from Lagos State, Badagry.
Hi, my name is Angela Wetzel, and I'm the founder of Epic Initiator Coaching. I am a life and love coach, and I wanted to share a little bit about my own experience with bullying. Actually, I would say that I was more of a bully's bully. Now, I'm not saying that that's actually, I'm not really condoning that, but I will sort of explain why and how, and, you know, as best I can to help you all get a perspective on bullying. So when I was like 2-3 years old, I have 2 older sisters, and my mom used to drop us off at this one, in the racquetball. She used to play racquetball and teach aerobics. So she would drop us off in the nursery, and there was a kid in there who was biting everyone. And he bit my oldest sister, and my oldest sister is very quiet, very meek. And I went and I I hunted him down and I bit him so that he knew how badly he was hurting other people. And also I was like, this isn't okay, this stops here. And the only other time that I really encountered any kind of bullying or being picked on was just these like random moments. I think that people will test you to see if you're someone that can be their punching bag or their scapegoat. And so we have to be really careful who we let in, whose words, whose beliefs, whose thoughts that we let in. And when I was just getting into high school, I was on the bus. I had really, really badly crooked teeth. Like, I had braces for a couple of years, but they were very horribly crooked. And I was very embarrassed. I was very like, oh my God, I would try to smile with my mouth shut. I was aware they were very bad. And when I got on the bus, the kids were saying, hey, Bugs Bunny, like, want a carrot? And they'd be like, what's up, Doc? And I was like, great. And I went home and I told my mom, and she said, oh, they're just saying that because they like you. And I'm like, no, it's because my teeth are really jacked up. And there was really nothing I could do about it. But I don't really think I let it in. And also the kids that were sort of like picking on me, they were neighbors, and I just became friends with them. So we ended up hanging out. What I will tell you about bullying is that it is really just an enaction of the cycle of abuse. So what happens is, if there's a parent and they have their own unhealed trauma and unhealed wounds, they will often project all of that pain outside of themselves onto their child. Because the way that bullying works, or the way that abuse works, is it's like a power dynamic, or it's a power struggle. And so you'll find in movies, like, a lot of times these bullies are like bigger, they're stronger, they're scary. There's just something about them that makes them seem powerful in some way. So you can be really sure that if someone is bullying you, if someone is saying mean stuff, if someone is just a cranky, awful, hateful person, you can be sure that they're in a lot of pain. They're in a world of pain, and they don't know where to put this pain. They don't know how to deal with this pain. So the only way that they actually feel a sense of reprieve from the onslaught, the constant feeling of unworthiness and shame and not feeling good enough, is to actually just project, to take those insecurities, to take those vulnerabilities that they feel from themselves and repeat the pattern outside of themselves. And this is how a lot of abuse happens. That the taking of unconscious action actually invites some temporary relief, but then there's usually feelings of guilt, or, depending on how aware they are, there's feelings of guilt. Maybe not. Maybe they don't feel any guilt. Maybe they just want to continue to do that because it feels better, and it's the only thing they found that feels better. The most important thing to do is to really address it and say, wow, if you're saying these things to me, it really gives me a lot of insight into how you see yourself. And I feel sorry for you. I'm sorry that you're hurting so much, or I'm sorry you don't feel good. And that might catch someone off guard a bit, or maybe they'll just attack you even more initially. But something to remember also is that you need to have very clear mental, emotional, and physical boundaries. Just because someone says something to you does not mean that you have to believe it, does not mean that it's true, and does not mean that it's okay for them to say it. It doesn't mean that you just stand there and take it. And it's important that you actually decide that you won't let these things in because they're really just not useful to you. Bullies will generally go after someone that they think is smaller, more vulnerable, that's weaker, because they know that they're not going to fight back. And so in some way, you need to show them that you aren't this person that they think you are, that you're not just going to stand and take it. And whether that means you fight back physically if you have to, and I would say only as a last resort if you're in danger, serious danger. But that means enlisting the help of teachers, parents to intervene as well. But it also means that they don't get the reaction from you that they want. You don't give in to the bullying. You don't allow them to speak to you that way, talk to you that way. You say, you're not allowed to speak to me that way. And you stand up to them and you face the music. And even though it's really scary, we all need to have enough self-regard, self-worth, and intention to protect ourselves that we don't let people say whatever they want to us and just take it in. So it is important to really build those boundaries and to screen everything that comes through, what people say, how they treat you. Is this really true? Is this the truth, that this is really who I am, that they say I am? Are they treating me the way I deserve to be treated? And if it feels bad, the answer is no. And the other thing I will say is, what I did when I was younger, like, biting the biter, is it necessarily the best course of action? No, because that person that child, and I was a child, was already in a lot of pain. And I don't necessarily recommend just being awful. And sometimes the people that are lashing out are really just needing help and support so much, and they just have no idea how to ask for it because they've never had that modeled for them. And if we're able to have compassion and really see that when a person is spewing garbage and toxicity, it's because they're full of it and they haven't been able to heal it or learn how to manage it or integrate it. But it does take a lot of emotional maturity and compassion to get to that point. So I hope that this video helps and that it will encourage you to really love yourself, take a stand for yourself, take a stand for your friends, and just so life is a lot easier and you're not having to run away from people that are straight up telling you lies, because what they're doing is really just projecting everything onto you. If you'll imagine that you are the screen and they're the ones playing the movie. They're not seeing you, they're seeing their own pain, their own wounding, their own unworthiness. All right, hopefully this helps, and take care.
Mention your name and the place where you currently live. What do you do? So I am Hari. My current location is in Germany. What do you do? So I'm doing my education here. What is bullying like where you live? So bullying, I think, is another form of racism, I think. So did you experience bullying in any form? Yeah, of course. I have experienced this bullying only once in the last 4 years of my experience here in Germany. Did that affect your mental or physical health? Physically not, but mentally not so much. Means not so much, but yes, because I still remember that. So did you need external help to cope up with mental or physical trauma? Yeah, of course. If you were literally and seriously affected by the bullying, then of course you need a mental and physical help by someone. So, what do you think was the reason for said bullying? Mm, reason in my case, uh, I look not fair, means I look brown because I'm from India. Mm, and also they think that I'm a Muslim, so that was the reason. So narrate an incidents. So incidents like yeah, that was a local holiday here in Germany. That day I went for talking with my friends, means also the local friends, also with one of my Indian friend. So two local people, we call them as Nazi. So they think that I am from some other Muslim country, and I also look a little bit different from them because I look brown. So they just gave me the uh, fleisch, some eatable flies for me. For Muslim, I think it's not the eatable item, so they gave that flies to me to eat, and they also gave my friend, but he refused to take that flies. So that is the incident, and advice on how to cope up with situation. So when you're bullying, what you can do, my advice is just be cool always. This thing, it will not never end, I think so. Thank you.
Hello everyone, myself Aditi Biswas. I'm a psychologist. First of all, I'll congratulate Shreyasi for taking this initiative and making this video. As you know, the topic is bullying, and I will be sharing a few concepts about it and about its strategies. So, what is bullying? Bullying is something where a person is being bullied by another, both physically and verbally. The person who is bullied might be very timid, very shy, and unable to respond or take action from himself or react when the person is bullied. Bullying is done in schools as well as in professional life, in offices and colleges also. Many of these bullying situations or stories or events are not reported, and children or individuals suffers from a great mental trauma. So the first thing I would like to share with you people, that when you come to know that children or a child or any individual is being bullied, he or she must be attended, and this should be done by the parents, the teachers, and also the mental health professionals. When you come to know a child is suffering from bullying, please talk to the child, communicate with the child, and I would also request the parents to communicate with the child to know what the child is going through, what the trauma or what the stress the child is going through. When you communicate with the child, when you get to know about what the child is going through, he will feel that yes, someone is there who will listen to me or who will share my experiences. Of course, there are psychologists and psychiatrists. When the trauma is excessive, professional help is very much necessary. So with this video, I would like to give the message that whenever you see or come through a child who is suffering from such kind of problems or condition, please make the child comfortable, communicate with the child so that the child can be at ease and he can communicate his problem, as he must know that there is somebody who will listen to him and which can definitely reduce or decrease his problem. Thank you.